Oh, hello there, yes. Well, once again, it is that safely ensconced in Friday feeling. Hurrah! Yes, anyway, today I'm going to run an odd thing past you, but bear with me initially because it's a bit one of them kind of Bloom's taxonomy things which I love at higher level thinking, because sometimes I see things on Tinternet and I think to myself, ooh, that makes me think of something completely different, joining these things together. Anyway, to cut a long story short, Psyman Dan, who is basically the committed enemy of, makes a living out of it, which is intriguing, committed enemy of the flat earthers everywhere, posted up a video, and it was about the flat earth community basically, but I was thinking about the way that it affects all of our right-wing grifters generically. Anyway, the idea is, okay, to prove that there is a flat earth, then a variety of flat earthers are going to be invited in December to Antarctica to watch the sun bounce. Link down below. I don't want to explain why that proves it's a flat earth, but it will do. So, of course, the generic flat earth community feel very threatened by this because obviously, if that actually goes ahead and various people who did believe in the flat earth, who were prominent in the flat earth community, come back and say, actually the earth is round, it'll blow a hole in their whole revenue stick, won't it? Yes. So they've managed to get in their retaliation early, saying, of course, that the people that are going are all traitors to the cause, and anyway, who's to say exactly what the sun is, as some of their arguments go, and other convoluted things, which made me think about where we are with our other right-wing grifters, which brings me, of course, neatly to Carl Benjamin, who managed to get himself into a bit of a pickle yesterday, perhaps indicative of the entire community. But, yesterday he posted this up, for example, saying the average IQ of the Labour cabinet has got to be about 90, which is his way of being rude, you see, because that's hundreds generally regarded as being average. So if you're below that, you're a bit stupid. The problem, of course, is that the various people that are pictured realistically aren't stupid, and one of them doesn't have a degree, like Carl. Because Carl didn't get very much further than woodwork GCSE. Nobody knows what his qualifications are. In other words, he doesn't have any. So, although Carl may well be a practical man of the people, come back to that concept, throwing stones at other people's achievements, or otherwise, bearing in mind that Angela Rayner, yes, she doesn't have a degree, but she is Deputy Prime Minister, Carl. That's something. Perhaps, maybe she slept her way to the top, just to be rude about her, the way that you probably would do about other people that are potentially vice to the top job, eh? Anyway, people in glass houses, one might say. He also posted this up, which I just thought was indicative, perhaps, of somebody with a low IQ, because Carl is one of those right-wingers who hasn't really actually moved on from 2016. So everything's all about alpha males and betas and cucks and soy boys, right? So he posted this up, all right? Borders are natural, yes, which is about people tracking wolves in terms of territories, and you can see there that basically the wolves never go into each other's territories, no, apart from if you look closely at it, the wolves that do go into each other's territories. And because borders aren't particularly natural, they are just something that human beings draw lines in the sand, as I've mentioned in previous ones. But you will notice that there's one particular white wolf there that was wandering around all over the place, and these people tend to be young males who will very often wander around the planet, Carl. Yes, maybe if you learnt things, Carl, maybe if you read something, maybe if you didn't just believe, like all the idiots do out there, that there's such a thing as an alpha male based on studies of wolves that have been retracted by their authors, it might help. And he really stuck his finger in it yesterday, metaphorically or otherwise, because he was pointing out the potential new vice president of the States was giving, Mr. Waltz was giving a speech yesterday at the DNC, and he called that to his children, who were quite emotional about it, okay? So Cole wrote this up, okay? This is a touching human moment in which a son is exuberantly proud of his father, and right-wingers should recognise it as such, which of course was the wrong thing for Carl to do, because Carl cannot ever ever admit that people like me are human beings, or indeed that anybody that disagrees with him is in any way a human being. So anyway, there's a link down below. You can have a look at people's comments itself, but they do involve quite a lot of soy boys and cucks, etc. Yes, unfortunately, see, Carl is trapped, like those flat earthers, with his own particular brand of flat earth nutters, and he has to insist that the earth is flat, otherwise they'll leave him, which doesn't give him anywhere to go other than just disappearing. And of course, Carl's audience in real terms are people with IQs below 90. I mean, I was astounded that this bloke, whose name escapes me, but whatever, from Blackpool, who has decided to go on hunger strike so that the government sort out illegal immigration. But if you actually read anything about him, he also wants them to end political correctness, which presumably will mean that someone like me will get ordered by Keir Starmer to stop being politically correct, and then he'll not starve to death. Now, if any of you can see just a minor flaw in his scheme, if you want to point that out to me, because I think it's watertight. I can't see any problems with that whatsoever. I don't think we're going to hear of him again, not because, he's going to die, but because it's such a monstrously stupid thing to do. I imagine that he watches the Lotus Eaters on a regular basis. Anyway, moving on. Of course, for those of them, for those people of that ilk that are actually running the show, okay, they cannot admit that the Earth might be round. So therefore, everything that's an inconvenient truth, and there will be lots of inconvenient truths because we are now entering into Donald Trump losing in November territory, which basically pulls the rug out from any form of intellectual capacity these people might have to argue that their side is winning. So Dan Wootton actually put this up yesterday, the day before, which floored me somewhat. Okay, you'll notice that he's got everyone's favourite brother of Jesus there, Mr. Robinson, next to him. But he actually posted this up. Presumably Mr. Robinson has still fled to Ireland. Anyway, the MSN and Britain's political elites don't want to acknowledge the certain fact that the far left infiltrated the so-called riots, in inverted commas, sparked by the Southport massacre, both physically by hard left groups like Antifa and online using foreign bad actors, including in Pakistan. Yes, because there was that vague news about that bloke in Pakistan sharing things. You see, it's all a plot by Antifa, those well-organised anarchists. But you notice the way that this is that kind of January the 6th stuff. The idea that actually the riots didn't happen. Yeah, they weren't a thing. Because just like the January 6th rioters, they were all Antifa. There you go. Perfect, eh? No need to explain why we're wrong. Yeah. And talking of wrong, I've had this one on the back pocket for a while, but I must share this with you, okay? We've now reached that point with these right-wing grifters whereby the level of unreality is such that they cannot see just how nutty each of them has become. So there was and again, link down below, you can watch this. We had on Jordan B. Peterson's channel, episode 472, for God's sake. Yes, you can't see his daughter here, who has to chaperone him everywhere because he's still insisting that if you eat a meat-only diet, you won't die. Hint, you will. Anyway, Jordan Peterson, who is a guy with a load of serious mental health issues, hence the daughter chaperoning thing, is interviewing everyone's least favourite racist, Douglas Murray. And what are they talking about? They're talking about Tommy Robinson, who's obviously fled from justice, as Stephen, hasn't he? Yes. But of course, not in negative terms, of course, because Tommy is the authentic voice of the British working class. That, of course, Dougie can only dream of. Well, he probably does, given his particular proclivities. But anyway, astounding that these people were, these people will deny that they ever did this in a year's time. Yeah, when Tommy is actually banged up yet again for such things, yes, because it will simply be memory hold, yes, because they're not wrong, are they? They're never wrong at all. And now my tip to these people is that they just simply leave, all right? I don't know why we have to put up with this level of dirge and unreality. I really do think that there needs to be some form of legislation to simply pull the rug out from underneath these people. They should go and get a job. okay? And if they want to whinge about the country I live in, they can do it whilst doing something productive, rather than being a parasitical nastiness on the rest of us. And if they don't like that, they can just go to another country, can't they? After all, something some, various people have said to me a lot in the last few years. I mean, if I had £1 for every time somebody had said that to me, I'd have, I don't know, about £3 now. Anyway, Alex Jones of InfoWars fame, yes, him, yes. Yeah, another guy that unfortunately got bitten by reality, didn't he, when he was insisting that there were no such things as school shootings. Anyway, I had to pay out a great deal of money. It might be worthwhile if we took some of these other people to court. But leaving that aside, yeah. Anyway, apparently Putin has suggested to all these people that they can go to Russia, where they can enjoy all of those Russian freedoms. And I think maybe, as a little mantra, we need to start saying that to all of them. To the Dougie Murrays and the Jordan B. Petersons, and of course the Carl Benjamins of the world, that that's where they should go and live. Why not? Well, the answer is they'd have to do some real work then, wouldn't they? Oh dear. And of course, we can't let reality make them break into a sweat. Anyway, do have a lovely Friday. Enjoy. Very much so.